Alright, so I looked up a few, there's no way we're going to get this foundation up the stairs. And I saw a few people doing videos on how to split a box spring. But this is not a box spring. This is simply just a cheap wood foundation for a mattress. So you can't do the same thing. So I'm going to just rip this thing apart and we'll just see how this works out. So of course the dust cover, you'll see I've already taken it off nice and neat. I don't care. Just rip it off. Take it off, do it however you want. You can peel it off nice with a screwdriver and pull all the staples out, but come on, let's face it. Does it really matter? No. It's not like you're going to be selling this thing to somebody. It's not like you need to have it pretty because you're a manufacturing facility. This is all for looks. So I just ripped the dust cover off. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically cut it right here, cut each of these right on this part on the top side, and then cut this here, this part, and cut it there, and then I will have basically two separate halves. And then when I take it upstairs, I will simply run screws back in to connect it to the boards here. So the next thing I got to do is we've got to take this fabric and cut it, and probably buy a staple gun and just restaple it down. I'm going to get this fabric all cut off here. Hold on. Alright, so got my trusty scissors, and I'm going to just, like I say, I don't care. This is not, I don't have sentimental value attached to a mattress box, so I just want to get it done. I've been moving for 2 weeks and I'm so tired of dealing with this garbage, and I don't want to spend $150 for a new box. So I'll just prop this up here while I rip it to shreds. Alright. Trying to get this. Alright. And you just want to leave enough so that you can take a staple gun and staple this back down. So you want to make sure you get it close to center. Back over here. There we go. So there we go. We got the mattress split, the fabric split right down the middle. Now, get my saw. Alright, so I went in and bought me a saw, and I also bought me a stapler, which I'll also be able to use when I go to put the insulation up in the attic when we remodel that. So I spent about 80 bucks for the saw, the staple, and staplers. Staples. So, it's still better than spending $150 for a box and then having to buy these tools. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure you set the saw to the right depth. So for example, and it's just right there. You can see the depth of the wood. Of course right now my saw is unplugged. So I basically made it so that this is only going to cut about just a little bit more than the depth of this type of board right here, which is the thickness of these cross rails right here. So I'm ready to go. I plug this in and I'm going to rip all these boards. So we'll start with this one here. Gets probably booger up some fabric in the process, but that's all right. Go over here, do this one. Doesn't have to be pretty. As I said, let me just and then I'm going to just cut each one of these right in the middle, right on down, and cut them all, each one. Got it all. Now I just gotta knock that out with a hammer. Or actually, I might not even need to use a hammer, just flip it up. And it should come in half now. This board is a little thicker is why. This should do it though. Alright. It's loose. It's loose. In theory. Oh, it's still not cut all the way through. Oh, I didn't quite go far enough with that saw, as you see. Oh, right there. I'll just use my handsaw for that. On the back. I'll just use this one. There. That works. Okay. So there we go. It ain't pretty, but it works. So now we'll take it upstairs and see if we can put it back together. Yep, I did. Hopefully it'll go back together. We'll see what happens. So I already had a drill gun and screws, but if you had to buy those, you're going to be around 125 bucks for all your tools. So you'll have to weigh the cost of if it's worth it to you. But if you need the tools, which I do, or if you already have the tools, then you know, you can do that. You could also probably use just a regular old hand saw. And you might have been able to do it completely by hand. I just have the patience for it. And you might be able to run the screws in by hand. But again, I don't have the patience for it. But there you go. Now we're going to put this thing together. So we'll get it all assembled in here. Now we got to do something here. We got to take these nails, bend them over, so they're out of the way. These staples, I mean. Now, get this about halfway through. All right, good. So now we're going to put this together. Let's see if this works. Enough. So yeah, I've got just what, 1.25 inches, I think. Getting tired. It's hot. All right. Go down the other end. Same thing. Push that against the door so it doesn't move. So if I can do this, anybody can do this. Except I'm splitting the wood. So you probably want to drill this out, drill these, so that they don't split. Now, hopefully, we'll be able to flip this thing over without it falling apart and finish it the rest of the way. Let's see what happens. You know what, I'm not going to flip it this way, I'm going to flip it up this way. and turn it around. This way I can grab my both ends so it doesn't flex it and break it. All right. This is working. All right. Okay. Now, there we go. Alright, now let me go get my staple gun. Okay, now I'm going to go get my staple gun and I'll just staple the fabric back and we're done. Alright, I got my trusty staple gun and now I'll go ahead and put the fabric in place. Hopefully this will record the last part of this. I'll bring the mattress in. Nice. Doesn't look pretty, but once you cover it, no one cares. There you go.